Now look, there are two signs that the NFL is finally back. One, when Colin Kaepernick announces that he wants to make a comeback in the NFL. And two, when your favorite players get hurt in training camp. Now, I do consider myself a Christian, and I do pray quite often. And one of the things I beg God to help me understand is why he hates the New York Giants. Now, the Giants have had an injury bug for the longest time now, and it's been an ongoing thing. I know football is a contact sport. I am one of the first people that would say that, right? I know injuries happen. Everybody, all 32 teams get injuries. I get that. But when it happens to like rookies, significant players that never have gotten hurt in their collegiate career, previous teams, it doesn't matter. You step in the Giants facility, even on the natural grass in their training camp, they're still getting hurt. We can't even give the MetLife excuse. Before we get into everything, a word from our sponsor. This video is being sponsored by BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook. Right now, BetUS is offering a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. Now, I'm not good at math, but if you put down $1,000, that means you're going to have about $1,250 to work with. Now, if you ask me, that's a deal. Now, the season hasn't started yet, but you could put down some player prop bets before the season even starts. If you check out the quarterback prop bet for 30+ touchdowns, you'll see Daniel Jones all the way at the bottom. And for everybody that thinks Daniel Jones and the offense are going to succeed this year, that's plus 4,000. I mean, I would take that. I mean, Jones with Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, a couple of running backs that can catch the ball at the backfield, Theo Johnson, and a revamped offensive line, he may hit 30+ touchdowns. And if you bet now, you'll win big. Click the link below and make sure you guys use the promo code JOIN125. And as always, bet responsibly. Now, we know the injuries really started to occur starting with the offensive line. You had Evan Neal go on PUP, I believe, with also an ankle injury that's becoming a ongoing theme this season so far. Forget about torn ACLs. No, we are going to string you along, and you'll never know when this player is coming back because ankle injuries are so they linger and they come back and they get worse and then they get better. It's not like a torn ACL where it's like, all right, season's over. These ankle injuries, it's something that we'll never know how the player is feeling, how he's going to come back. We never know. Now, I believe Evan Neal has that ankle injury. He's coming off a PUP list. We had Jermaine Illuminor, first day of training camp. The first day. Nice little shoulder into the rib by Dexter Lawrence, throwing around his 340-pound self into my right tackle. But Jermaine is okay. Evan Neal came back, but he's not starting. Blessing in disguise. But Jermaine Illuminor is okay. He's working at right tackle. And then we get Malik Neighbors. He's out with an ankle injury. Now, I will say that I think Giants Twitter collectively are trying to cause the most amount of heart attacks in Giants fans nationwide. Like, they're trying to start a historical moments because every time a player goes down, they play it off like it's the worst thing that's ever happened. Now, we know that Malik Neighbors earlier in the week, if you didn't know, Malik Neighbors went down with an ankle injury and the whole world stopped moving. I felt the world stopped moving. It just paused. But it seems like it's not that much of a big deal. He's not on a cast. He didn't break anything. He did a interview with Kay Adams literally a couple hours later, and she even said if it was that bad, I probably wouldn't have interviewed him. So that's a good sign. Let's see how this ankle injury presents itself with Malik Neighbors and what's the timeline of him coming back. He hasn't practiced since, which is expected. So don't imagine seeing him versus the Texans on Saturday. And apparently Daniel Jones had his best practice without Malik Neighbors today. So there is no other brighter side to look at than that. I'm trying to look for the positives here. Then news broke out that my son, my boy, Tyrone Tracy, my baby, went down.
That's my son! That's my boy!
Oh my God. I swear my jaw dropped to the floor when I heard that he had an ankle injury. Because why are these players, Malik Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy, I believe Tyrone Tracy had a bit of, had an injury or two in his whole collegiate career. Malik Neighbors, I don't even think has had much of an injury history. And then now they're going down with ankle injuries. Tyrone Tracy, I mean, they played it off like the man completely contorted his whole ankle. They said they had to bring out the cart. They had to bring out an air cast. What the hell is an air cast? Now, when I hear air, okay, when I hear air, I'm thinking they're gonna airlift them. Like I'm thinking helicopters. I'm thinking they're bringing aerial support. I still don't know what an air cast is recording this video, but that's neither here nor there. I think it's just a cast. I don't know. Does it float in the air? I don't even know. Forgive my ignorance, but for a couple of hours on Twitter, it was like everybody's waiting in a hospital room. It was like everybody's waiting, like something happened to your family member or loved one, and you're just waiting there in the waiting room, shaking your leg, like, oh my god, what's going on? The doctors are in there. I'm not hearing any news. What's going on? And come to find out, I mean, we've seen some pictures. We see Tyrone Tracy on the cart. My son, I can't see my son like this. Look like he's about to cry. We've seen that in the NFL during these games. You know, the Nick Gates injury and stuff like that brings me back to that. But it appears that it's not even a high ankle sprain. He didn't break anything. Obviously, we know how significant high ankle sprains are, but he did not break anything. It is just a sprained ankle. They put out the cart. They got aerial support for a sprained ankle. So I don't think we're going to see Tyrone Tracy versus the Texans, because you guys know if you're playing basketball, you played a pickup game of football, you sprain your ankle, you're going to feel it for a couple of days. Obviously, these guys do some insane work with their legs, and they have insane practices, and they play in these games in tough conditions, hitting each other and stuff like that. A lot of physical contact. I doubt Tyrone Tracy is going to play against the Texans. Maybe we'll get to see him in the last game versus the Jets, but I'm just hopeful that we're going to get both Malik Neighbors and Tyrone Tracy back before week 1 against the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota is dealing with their own injury issues. JJ McCarthy has a torn meniscus. I mean, I watched his game highlights versus in the preseason. I didn't even see any signs of that. Maybe that was during practice. I don't know. But Sam Darnold is a definite starter versus the Giants week 1. We're going to be in those ugly-ass Century Red uniforms, and we're going to get the dub. We're going to start off with a better record with those uniforms than we ever did with our Color Rush. By the way, RIP to the Color Rush uniforms. I didn't even notice until you guys told me about it in the comments that there's no Color Rush this year. And we sacrificed 1 week for those ugly-ass Century Red uniforms. I hope they don't do something for 101 years with the New York Giants, because I'll be livid. That being said, that is all I got for you guys today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this entire situation with Malik Neighbors and Tyrone Tracy. Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Make sure you guys check BetUS in the description below. 125% off of $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. You're not getting a better deal than that. All that being said, I am KB, and I will see you guys in the next video. Woo!